Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a whole new episode of Full Steam Ahead. I'm your host, Zoe, and my co-host on the other side, Cantu. 3-day weekend is finally in the books, Labor Day weekend. I know both of us had the days off. Angel, how was your weekend?
It was good. It was good. It was my son's first birthday. You were there. Help celebrate that. It was a pretty fun experience. He had a blast. We had like one of those. It was his first birthday, so we kind of try to go a little over the top for him. But he had like a little ball pit. Had so much fun. He was tired by like in the middle of the party. I had cake, everything, and then today, since this is his actual birthday, we took him to like Build a Bear and to like Kids Empire so he can have fun. Love him.
That's a little party animal over there, man.
Yeah,
Shoot,
absolutely.
I think he's going to be fitting in well whenever he goes A&M and Northgate.
Absolutely. He loves to dance.
Oh, he loves to dance.
Yeah.
Ever since he started walking, that boy going.
Little Tasmanian devil there.
Tasmanian devil. But the
How about
Astros,
yours? Well, how about your weekend before we get started?
it was good. Yeah, I mean, shoot, we spent the day with you, and then kind of just stayed home trying to get some things done. I know school's back for everybody too in college. Got to get back on that grind, of course. But if we're gonna be talking about episode 210, as we are titling this, starting pitching equals royalty. Because the Astros did complete a 4-game sweep against the Kansas City Royals. What a series for the
Absolutely.
Astros. Like from starting pitching to the bullpen to offense to, I mean, the guys, I would say for the Astros were always in the game no matter what. If they were down a run here or there was a tie game, they would find a way to score some runs, any type of scenario. I know there were some defensive miscues, which we'll talk about here in a little bit from Pena as well as some others, but the Astros just were in the game. Jose Altuve walk-off double. Yordan Alvarez hitting 2 home runs at Minute Maid Park for like the very first time since July. I want to say that they said on the broadcast, if I'm not mistaken.
I can double check for you, but it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while for him to get going at Minute Maid Park. I think he even had put on a quote from Brian McTaggart's story on that game that it kind of been like weight has been lifted off his shoulders, like so much stress, not being able to hit one out at Minute Maid Park. But I mean, what a series for the Astros against a team that's probably going to be in the postseason, I would say, in the Royals.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is a great team. Well, something we said before the series with the Phillies and the Royals is that these are playoff teams and they playoff games. And I mean, the Astros kind of faltered with the Phillies a little bit, but they recouped against the Royals and a well played series, like you said. Everything clicked. I know, like the theme early on in the season was like not all three things clicked at once: hitting, bullpen, starting pitching. You saw it here. What the Astros can do when everything, all the puzzles fall into pieces. Kikuchi was great. Framber was great. The offense, like you said, was pretty phenomenal too. And although Josh Hader faltered, the offense being able to pick him up and have that walk up, that's just what baseball is, right? Like baseball's a game where the big stars are not going to be able to produce sometimes. Well, you got to rely on the other part of the team to pick that up, and the Astros did a great job on that.
Yeah, they did a really good job, like you were saying. Josh Hader did 29 consecutive saves. My gosh, I mean that's a role for him. Not everybody's going to be perfect throughout that time. You can't have that consecutive streak continuously going. It is what it is. But like you were saying, the Astros did, and the offense kind of picked them up. Jake Meyers in that inning specifically got the thing going. I think he had 1 out and he had the single, and then 2 outs. Jose Altuve, I think one of the guys that everybody would like to see, fans of baseball. I'm not really sure about fans of baseball, but Astro fans in general, they would like to see Jose Altuve in that type of situation. Even Joe Espada had said in the post game, that's the guy that you want at the plate when the game is on the line. And sure enough, Jose Altuve did come up clutch. I mean, a lot to get going here. We can talk about real quick game 1 of the Cincinnati game. Starting pitching, usually that's what this is going to be really about. But Justin Verlander in that start against Cincinnati just really didn't have his stuff, man. I mean, very inconsistent, I would say. 4 2/3, 8 hits, 5 earned runs, 3 strikeouts, 4 walks. I mean, he hasn't really been JV after the IL stint, I would say, for him. Just a lot of inconsistent pitching. which is with his pitches, with his four seam, with his curve. Right now, honestly, if you tell me if the Astros do make the postseason, do you see JV being in the starting rotation?
Absolutely. Yeah. There's no question about that. No concern. As long as Justin Verlander is in the Astros roster pitching for the Astros, he's going to be in the rotation no matter what.
So I mean, since he returned off the IL, Boston was his first game. 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs. Against the Phillies, 5 innings, 7 hits, 4 earned runs. Cincinnati, 4 and 2/3, 8 hits, 5 earned runs.
He'll figure it out. He's a veteran. He's been through this part. Like, this is nothing new for him. I mean, he's a Hall of Fame player. He's been phenomenal throughout the years. But even the best pitchers go through, just like the hitters. Even the best pitchers go through slumps, and this is just a slump he's on. He'll get out of it. He's a professional. I'm sure he'll figure it out. There shouldn't be no thought in people's minds about Justin Verlander. Like, none.
But that's what I'm saying. The postseason, like in the rotation, at least.
He's
so
in.
what game would he start if you have the confidence in him right now? That he's pitching like this. If he continues to pitch like this,
second
what
game.
is
second or third game?
Game 2 starter.
Yeah, just depending how Hunter Brown finishes. Like, as of right now, if the season ended today, Astros playoffs today, that'd be Framber Valdez, Hunter Brown, Justin Verlander. No, I'm sorry. Framber Valdez, Justin Verlander, Hunter Brown. Now, to answer your question, because you said if he continues like this throughout the rest of the season, then it would be Framber Valdez, Hunter Brown, Justin Verlander.
I mean, you just said right now that if the season ended today,
it would be if the season ended today, it would be Framber Valdez, Justin Verlander, Hunter Brown.
I just told you what he's pitching right now.
I know.
4 runs, 4 earned runs.
That's fine.
And if he continues this trend, you still see him as that second starter.
If he continues this trend throughout September, the third starter. But no matter what, he's going to be a starter in the playoff.
I honestly think if Hunter Brown and Yusei Kikuchi continues to pitch how they're pitching right now, them guys are your game 2 and your game 3.
I can see that.
Because they've been really lights out. But the offense in this game, Justin wasn't there. I mean, 2 for 9 with runners in scoring position, 8 men left on base. Jordan Alvarez did piece up a good swing on that last at-bat to end the game. It was just right at the center fielder. Yainer Diaz doing what he's doing with runners in scoring position. Chas McCormick getting that hit, I think that was really good for him, especially because he's been going down to AAA, hitting that option, being able to find a way to get back in the groove of things, get his offensive production going, and getting that ground rule double to left. I think that was a really big mental boost for Chas, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks going back to AAA, but first at bat, getting a hit, I'm sure that, like you said, brings the confidence back up.
Yeah, but you got to remember, too, the Astros, this was the 18th consecutive game. They've been playing consecutive baseball for 18 days, turning back all the way from the Boston Red Sox series at home. Tomorrow, Tuesday, if you're listening to this on Tuesday, it is their day off, their first day off since that Red Sox series. But let's get it with the recap. Royal Series, starting pitching, Jeremy Pena holding Bobby Witt Jr. down. Kyle Tucker fractured shin. That was another big topic that we got to start talking about. Who's invited to the Carne Asada? Cincinnati pitching preview, train station injury news, and around the horn. Angel, before we get started, let everybody know where they can find us.
Absolutely. We are on all the social podcast platforms as in Spotify Podcast and Apple Podcast. We're also on all the social media Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I know Lorenzo's been putting some great reels on Instagram and some great videos on TikTok, so go check those out.
Astros current record after the Cincinnati Reds game 1 series opener, 75-63. They are still first in the American League West, ahead of the Seattle Mariners, which they are 5.5 games up. They were 6 before this series opener against the Reds, but now it's 5.5. Right now, before we were getting on, the Mariners were losing to the A's 4-3, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yes.
So there's a possible chance that they could be that they could lose another game. We'll just have to see. The Rangers, I guess we can still throw them in the mix. They're playing the Yankees at home at Globe Life Field. We'll have to keep that situated. But even talking about the standings as of right now, the Astros are third in the American League, 4 games from tying the Yanks in first, and 3 games from tying the guards for that bye. That bye, I think, is going to be very crucial for the Astros if they could get there, just to give the pitching staff some relief, man, because they've honestly been grinding from the starting pitchers to the bullpen. The Astros can find a way to get that by either getting the first seed or the second seed. My gosh, this season it's already great for the Astros, but it would just be remarkable if they could get that by, I would think.
Yeah, and it's attainable. I mean, they're what, about
That's what I'm saying. 4 games back from the games, and then 3 from the guards. I mean, it's very attainable that they could get.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, Baltimore and New York are going to be battling head to head there. I think the best chance for one of them to fall is going to be the Cleveland Guardians. I think, yeah, they play in a weaker division, but I don't think, like, compared to the Yankees and Guardians, I think the Yankees have a stronger team than them.
The Yanks and the O's are still battling out for that AL East. Same goes for, I want to say, the Guards and the Royals.
Yeah.
Which the Royals and the Guardians are playing this series this weekend. I'm not this weekend, but this upcoming week from Monday to Wednesday or Monday to Thursday. I don't know if it's a 3-game or 4-game set, but I think that can help the Astros if the Astros could. Yes, exactly. If they could win. Joshua, it's been a while since we've seen Joshua on the chat. What's going on, man? And then Astro Wharf Craig. Where's Cantu's rose-colored glasses? My God.
It must be the camera. It must be the lighting. And like, I do not have rose-colored glasses.
That's honestly a good one. I'm not gonna lie. Rose, you might need the little string, like for the old, you know how the old people have the little thing that hang on there. You might need that.
I'm always losing them, so probably.
Yeah, honestly, you might. That might be a good investment for you. Might be a good investment. But starting pitching, Angel, I mean, let's start with Hunter Brown because that was the game 1 of the series opener against the Kansas City Royals. And I told you, and we talked about it, this is probably going to be a start that Hunter Brown's been really looking forward to, just for the fact from that last start over there at KC, only getting 2 outs out of that whole start. Best believe he circled this one on his calendar and he couldn't wait. 6 2/3, 2 hits, no earned runs. He did give up 2 runs, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. 97 pitches, 61 were strikes. The game was kind of set up for him to win, but Jeremy Pena making that error, and then I think who came in? I want to say it was Brian Abreu, gave up 3 runs right there. Next thing you know, Kansas City had the lead 3-2. I mean, I'm pretty sure it was very frustrating for Brown and Pena at that time. I can even say Brian Abreu too. But like we're talking about, the Astros are kind of resilient and getting back into the game and not allowing that other team to win, the game.
Yeah, I mean, like you said earlier, it was a great series all around, and just picking those guys up. Brian Abreu didn't do his job well. The guys picked them up.
Yeah, what the Astros rotation is doing is sick. Well, I'll tell you a couple more stats after I get through each of these starters, because Framber Valdez had a no-hitter from the 7th inning. 7 hits, no earned runs, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts. 98 pitches were thrown, 60 of them were strikes, like I had mentioned before. 7 no-hit innings from Framber Valdez. That is the 3rd time he has entered that he's left a game with 7 innings. 3rd career start that he's done that, of no hitting a team. And I want to say that's the 5th time too that the Astros have done that this season, going through a no-hitter from the 7th inning all the way on. What he's done this second half, and that was another thing that we talked about the last episode too, was kind of a bounce back from that Baltimore start that he had, giving up them 3 earned runs, which it really wasn't his fault. But coming up against a team like the Royals they don't have a lot of lefties in their lineup. It's kind of right-hand dominant. What he did there, keeping them off balance, like Joe Espada said in the post game, was very, very sufficient to his behalf.
I mean, all starting pitchers were great. For the Carne Asada, I picked 2, but it could have easily been all 4.
Yeah, so what Framber Valdez is doing right now, my gosh, and like I said, I think this is your game 1 starter if the Astros make the postseason. He's shown this second half throughout that he honestly can take that role instead of a Justin Verlander that has that veteran, that has that postseason experience and all that, and Cy Young and all that accolades. I think Framber Valdez is the guy that's going to be the game 1 starter if the Astros do make the postseason.
Yeah, there's no question about it. There's no question about that.
Another guy that we have to announce on this starting rotation, if the music will play, If the music would play. Get the lighters in the air. Get the flashlights out. Because Yusei Kikuchi. Yusei Kikuchi in an Astros uniform. My gosh, dude. The tune has caught on at Minute Maid Park. You already heard Jeremy Pena said it in the post-game interview with Julie Morales. He was starting to sing it. Yusei Kikuchi has been one of the best acquisitions by far since, I would say, the Zach Greinke trade of a starting pitcher. 7 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, no walks, 12 strikeouts, 101 pitches were thrown, 101 pitches. 75 of them were strikes. The Astros are now 6-0 in all of his 6 starts as him being the starting pitcher. And he's pitched over 6 innings.
Yeah.
That was another thing we kind of talked about in the over-under. Is he going to go through 6+, or is he going to go just under that plateau of 5 2/3? And my God, Kikuchi let it all out in this start against the Royals.
Talk about efficient. That was a really great start. The number that strikes me is the 0 walks. I think with Kikuchi stuff, he tends to be a little too fine sometimes and kind of miss his zone just by a little bit, and that kind of hurts him. And like I know, like his previous start to this when he had like few 3-2 counts, but against the Royals, 12 strikeouts, no walks. That's a good day in the office there.
That's a postseason lineup, honestly. Postseason lineup, and me and a writer were talking about it before I think it was before that start, or even before the opening series of the Royals. I had mentioned and talking about these starting pitchers. Maybe the only guy I would say that the Royals maybe had a shot at was Ronel Blanco, just for the fact that it's already gone, that he's thrown so many pitches and all that, and the fatigue coming in, settling in. And one guy he named was Kikuchi. He's like, they had seen Kikuchi in the beginning of the season, and Kikuchi carved him up. And sure enough, in this start against the Royals again, I mean, I think that was even a more impressive start than he did over there at KC when he was wearing a Blue Jays uniform.
Do you know the stats for that start?
I want to say it was 6 innings. It was 4 hits, 1 earned run, maybe. We had said in the last episode that started against the Royals.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you have it on you.
Yeah, I'm getting it right now. Give me a second.
Well, let me go.
Yeah,
you got it real quick?
Okay, yeah, it was on April 22nd. He had 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, 4 strikeouts, and that was it. He allowed a home run.
4 strikeouts, and in this game right here,
12.
Yeah. Like you said, the number that pops up is that no walks, but even the strikeouts too. He's been, and when the Astros acquired him, we had talked about the K per 9 innings that this guy has, and sure enough, it's showing out right there with 12 strikeouts in this game. But last but not least, on the starting pitching, Ronel Blanco, he's doing whatever he can. 5 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, 4 walks, 3 strikeouts, 101 pitches were thrown. 60 of them were strikes. Of course, when you look at that stat line, the walks to strikeout ratio right there, 4-3. I mean, I think Blanco doesn't like that, but at the end of the day, he did hold the Royals down, not allowing them to score any runs, only giving up 3 hits. I think that's a successful day at the office if you're Ronel.
Absolutely. I mean, your job's to go at least 5. I feel like if you go 6, 7, that's just extra for your team. It helps the team out, but like your job's to eat up 5 innings. That's exactly what he did.
Yeah, I mean, he's just done a really phenomenal job from the get-go. He's been the unsung hero, like I've always preached before. But more stats coming at you. Starting pitching in the last 5 starts, including that start over there in Philly with Spencer Arrighetti, have only allowed 1 earned run. 1 earned run in those 5 starts is impressive. Absolutely. 4 of the last 5 starts had pitched through the 7th inning. The durability and the endurance that these pitchers have to continue going on, 3 of them almost hit 100. 2 of them was 100 right here. Well, actually, no. Spencer Arrighetti had 100 pitches. So 3 of the 5 starters had pitched over 100. Framber Valdez had 98 pitches. Hunter Brown had 97 pitches. It shows that this starting rotation can go deep if you need them to, especially if the bullpen is taxed like it's been because of the 18 consecutive baseball games that they've been playing.
Yeah, again, I think the Stars have came in big time and had come in clutch because that bullpen needed a break. I know Neris, since he's came, he's pitched a pretty good bunch. So has Josh Hader, even going 2 innings at times, and this is a break they needed.
Yep, more coming at you. The stats since August 1st, the Astros pitching stat has been the best in baseball with a major league best 250 ERA. They also rank first in opponent batting average of 186, which I'll have another stat on that here in a minute. Second in strikeouts with 297, and the starters ERA during that stretch is major league best 236 ERA since August 1st. The crazy thing is the Astros had a record of 13-10 in August with that starting pitching. Just imagine if the offense was clicking at that time.
Call that a turnaround.
Yeah, that is a turnaround. Then last but not least, to end the starting pitching, throwing the flowers in there since we're talking about rose-colored glasses of angels. The Astros pitching staff allowed a 185 opponent batting average in August. It incredibly ranks as the second lowest team opponent batting average allowed in any single month by any team in MLB history. First is Cleveland Indians at 174 opponent batting average of May of 1968. The Astros have a 185 of 2024. Boston Red Sox with a 189, as well as the Baltimore Orioles with the 189. The Red Sox did it in 1915 of September, and the Orioles doing that July of 1968, courtesy of the Astros with the stat package on that. That is very impressive, man.
Absolutely.
Where the Astros really needed at this time, trying to get the division and trying to make another run into that postseason, man, because October baseball, that kind of has the Astros name written all over it.
Yeah. That's pretty, like, talk about an August to remember. I think Taylor Swift will be proud.
Yeah, it's very impressive. Two players I would like to talk about in the bullpen later on, because I feel like they pitched a lot. I think they need a rest, and especially with this break that they're going to have on Tuesday. So address that here in a minute, but we will have to talk about one guy who hasn't been. I mean, he's been good. I'm not saying he's been bad, but Jeremy Pena. 6 errors in his last 13 games. We're excluding from today's game, which is on Monday against the Reds, but 6 errors in his last 13 games. He did make 2 errors against the Royals. That was his 18th error of the season. But a manager's always going to stick up for his guys. And Joe Espada is that number one guy. Every Friday night's game, Joe Espada was asked about Jeremy Pena, about if there was fatigue kind of settling in at this point. Dog days of summer. Speaking of dog day, that was in that series as well. But this is what Joe had to say. He's like, quote, "I don't think it's fatigue. If there's someone that I want a ground ball to go in any inning, it's Jeremy Pena. There's a reason why he's a shortstop for his team and will be for many years. He's been reliable, solid shortstop. You go through stretches where stuff happens. So tomorrow he's going to be playing shortstop for the Houston Astros because he is one of the best in the game. Stuff happens," end quote. Confidence right there, I think, is just for Jeremy. I think too, especially he's a Gold Glover. And if you remember in that game specifically, he made one of those Derek Jeter plays to get a speedster running to first. I don't know at the top of my head who was running at that time. Made an incredible play, and then later on, it kind of got ruined because of the error that he allowed. Then Josh Hader gave up that home run, tie ball game. It happens, and not everybody's going to be perfect. Jerry Pena, like Joe said, Gold Glover for a reason. There's no reason why after these so many amount of games, yes, 18 errors, man, that's pretty incredible for a Gold Glover. But yeah, I'm if you're a Houston Astros fan, even me as a writer, I just do not feel like you have to hit the panic button on him. He's done a really good job throughout this whole season, offensively and defensively. Been a guy too that's been playing a lot of games. I think he's played over 130 games in a 162 game season. So yeah, you're gonna have some rough patches here and there, and I just love the fact that a manager is just sticking up for his player for that point.
Yeah, I'm not too worried either. Jose Altuve has gone through stretches like this where defense is just kind of, iffy. But like you said, Jeremy Pena is a Gold Glover. He's a Gold Glover for a reason. No one's gonna take that away from him, and that's gonna be his reputation, right? Because they don't hand those out to anybody. And I think right now it's just a rough stretch, and it'll get better. I mean, the thing about Jeremy Pena, he's a hard worker. Every day before a game, He's going to be out there taking his ground balls, working on those double play turns, working on his throw to first, getting his footwork done right. And it's part of the game. Baseball's a hard game to have success in. As you can tell, with just hitting wise, to be a millionaire, you have to fail 7 times out of 10. Like sitting on defense is not like it's hard with balls getting hit 100 miles an hour. Yes, I know they play on good fields, so the bounce might be as great, but these guys are professional hitters, know how to maneuver the gaps and stuff like that. So I think these will change for Jeremy Pena.
Yeah, not everybody's going to be perfect. Like you were saying too, he's always one of the guys out there. He was actually taking extra reps on Saturday. Of course, he did make that error on Friday. He was taking extra reps over there at shortstop on Saturday, being out there with the rookies. Even Mauricio Dubon was taking some grounders at third. But this guy is a hard worker, just a hard worker. When you talk about Jeremy Pena, he's going to work hard regardless of the mistakes he makes. Like I said, 162 games in a season. He's played 130 plus. Not to mention, like we've already been preaching about, this is 18 consecutive games. 18 consecutive games. Football, you got about 5 days, and then you'll play. It just depends on Thursday night, Saturday night, Friday night, Sunday night football, and all that type of stuff. Monday as well. As well as basketball. Basketball, you have a day here, you have 2 days here. Baseball, I mean, you do have 1 extra day off. The only day that you might have extra multiple days off is the All-Star break.
Okay.
That's really about it.
Yeah, that's really it, honestly. If anything, some teams are lucky to get 2 days off during the week on that Monday, Thursday. But I mean, I feel it's usually once a week you get a day off.
Yeah. So if you're a National fan, don't hit the panic button on this dude. I mean, it's a game of adjustments, and like your Angel was saying, I mean, he does a really phenomenal job of getting the gaps, getting the ball up the middle as well. Great defensive player. But to recap this,
also, just a reminder: don't hit the panic button on Justin Verlander either.
Okay, yeah, don't hit a panic button on the veteran 3-time Cy Young Award winner Justin Verlander as well. But to end the recap of this World Series, shout out to the starting pitcher. We've done enough and job about doing that. Bullpen as well. Bobby Witt Jr. is an MVP candidate for the American League. If Aaron Judge isn't having the season that he's having, I honestly think, and we talked about this off air, Jose Ramirez too is having an underappreciated MVP season. Phenomenal. Between him and Bobby Witt,
if Aaron Judge Gunnar Henderson, you can throw him in.
Say it again.
You can even throw Gunnar Henderson in there too.
Yeah, if we're talking about top 3, I think them are the 3 we're talking without Gunnar.
Yeah, absolutely.
Throw out Aaron Judge out of the MVP season, you got to give it to Bobby Witt. I honestly think so, because no one see the Kansas City Royals being a wild card postseason team that's even still fine for the division. But the Astros did a really great job holding his ground. 2 for 16 in this series. 2 for 16. That is a $125 batting average with 2 home runs, 2 RBIs, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts. They did a magnificent job not getting him on the base pass. He only gave up 2 home runs, but they were solo shots. That is a pat on the back for this rotation and the bullpen, what they've been doing. Not just in this month of August, but in this series against an MVP candidate like Bobby Witt.
Yeah, you saw it here. The solo home runs are not going to kill you. I mean, the thing with Bobby Witt, no matter how you pitch him, he's going to get his. The thing is to limit on the amount he gets. And having 2 for 16 with 2 solo home runs in a 4-game series, I should take that any day of the week.
Any day of the week. You got to be happy about it, honestly.
Exactly.
There is no way you cannot say you're happy. I mean, all these words you could be talking about, because this is an MVP candidate, like I'm saying, man.
Like he's gonna get his, he's gonna eat.
Exactly. And then even Pasquantino too, which, I mean, it's unfortunate that he had that injury. He's the lead RBI guy over there at Kansas City. And in those, I think it was the 2 games, he really didn't do not that much. Even I would say for Salvador Perez as well. So the Astros, I mean, we've already talked about the stats in August of the way they've been pitching. If they continue to pitch like this into September, going into October, then this is probably a World Series favorite right here, honestly.
Yeah. Pitching with championships, just sprinkling some offense there, and there you go.
Yes, it does. But 30 minutes into the show talking about that series against the Royals, we did talk about a little bit of that Reds Game 1 series opener. So if you're barely catching on, which is we have a great audience right now, we're about to get to Kyle Tucker. Bring on the Blitz podcast. Great show. Y'all about to record our Texans versus Colts preview. Keep up the phenomenal work. Like we mentioned before, These are the guys you want to go follow for your Texans content, as well as NFL. They do a little bit of college football here and there, but NFL, Houston Texans. If you're a Houston Texans fan, this is the time to be alive because these guys, I honestly think they're going to be an AFC Championship team. They could be honestly playing for the AFC Championship as well as a Super Bowl. But for guys that you want to go follow for the Texans content, Bring on the Blitz is the podcast that you want to go to.
And just like us, they should be getting credentials too. So they'll be getting first looks at all things Texans. So
all things Texans.
That's where you should be at.
Exactly. Just like we're doing the Astros, those guys are going to be handling the
part of the Skinner network too, right there. Oh, right there. Yeah, there you go, right there.
Anyway, moving on. Baseball. Kyle Tucker had a quote: fractured shin. Fractured shin.
I do remember having a conversation about this in a podcast, like I think a month and a half into this injury, and we were saying how it could be worse. I think the word fracture was mentioned, but we didn't have it confirmed. But there it is.
Yeah, we even talked about with the Robert Flores too. I mean, there was something going on, and a bruised shin doesn't take 3 months to heal. It really doesn't.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. Per Chandler Rome, Astros outfielder Kyle Tucker suffered a fractured shin versus the Cardinals. 3 people briefed on the matter told The Athletic that Tucker sustained a fracture of his shin. If you have not read the article, it is on The Athletic. I'm pretty sure it's in Chandler Rome's Twitter as well. This is a quote from the article. After several rounds of medical imaging, we suspect there was some type of small fracture. Dana Brown, Astros GM, said in a statement to The Athletic on Monday morning. So let's get you caught up a little bit of his injury updates because I was there for Thursday, Friday. Saturday, he was hitting live BP against some minor league pitchers. He did hit a bunch of home runs. Joe Espada said that he looked ready. We talked to Kyle Tucker, too, in the media about his progression and how his running ability is. He said it was about 75% or so. Now, Sunday, Dana Brown on team pregame radio said Tucker could play Wednesday or Thursday in the Cincinnati series. And then this was today on Monday per Matt Kawahara, who works for the Houston Chronicle. He had mentioned Kyle Tucker did accompany the Astros to Cincinnati because they weren't sure if he was going to go to Cincy or not. But more on that, he's doing running drills in the outfield at Great American Ballpark. Joe Espada said the Astros want Kyle Tucker to run bases again, likely Wednesday, after Tucker ran about 85% with, quote, no issues, end quote, in the outfield today. And then Joe said there's still a possibility that we can get him on the field here pretty soon. What he did today checked a lot of boxes. And that was a little bit going into the media too, talking to him at Minute Maid Park, was saying a lady had asked about if was everything checked on your boxes. I mean, what is the green check boxes for you to get going? And then he explained, and he had said 75% too, that he felt with his running capabilities. Now it's at 85%. He's hitting the ball really well. He had home runs over there during BP at Minute Maid Park. Angel, share me your thoughts, man. Think about the injury updates. We could give a little bit of our feedback too on the Chandler Rome article, but let's start off with the injury updates. How are you seeing his progression?
I like it. I think he's progressing a lot faster than he was early on, so that's a good sign there. Prior to this, it was a slow healing process with Kyle Tucker, and with very limited update to now the fact that there's back-to-back positive updates and he feels better. That's a good sign. I think he will be back this week. If not, if something happens, maybe this weekend.
So you don't think he needs any type of rehab assignments? It's just full go. Let's play Major League Baseball. You're going against whoever is the starting pitcher, either in Cincy or whenever they return back to play the Diamondbacks.
I think he should be fine. Yes, it was a long layoff, but he's not a pitcher, and sometimes for some players, it just takes seeing Major League pitching to get back on track. I think Kyle Tucker is one of those guys.
Okay, so you predict that Kyle Tucker should be playing as soon as possible. Yeah. And I was just making sure to go back. June 3rd was when the Astros did play against the St. Louis Cardinals. He did hit that ball off his shin. I thought it was, for some reason, I was thinking the Detroit series. He didn't even play against the Detroit Tigers. But go ahead if you want to add on
Yeah.
to the article as well. I mean, what are your thoughts? Why do you think the Astros did that? Just to kind of, protect him as the player and just the organization itself. Sure.
I do want to answer this question. It says the Astros should be ashamed of themselves for not telling us that. And I'm gonna go with I'm gonna speak on both. I'm not gonna say the Astros lied to the fans. I don't think that was the case, because if you look at that, his healing process, he was never in a cast, never in a boot. He was walking. I mean, obviously walking with a
I
limp.
actually think he was in a boot in the
Oh, was
beginning.
he in a boot?
I think so. I think I'm
It
not.
wasn't a long stretch though.
Yeah, it wasn't a long stretch. It
Yeah.
was maybe about a week. Maybe.
Yeah. So there you go. And then for the most part, he was walking gingerly with a limp, but he was just using the rice method, like you say. Like, he was just resting it, icing it, stuff like that. But there wasn't any time when he was like, he was on crutches at a time, but it never went any higher than that. So I'm not gonna say the Astros lie about it. I think that was the case, and maybe just some misdiagnosis there. But at the end of the day, the positive thing is that Kyle Tucker is on the way back. He's getting back healthy. I think that's pretty much of it. Just being, just celebrating the wins and the fact that Kyle Tucker's almost back. I think that's a great win there.
It's just a great win in general that the Astros have been doing this without a
Mhm.
Kyle Tucker that probably could have been in the MVP conversation as well.
Yeah,
Because what he was doing in the beginning of the season was mind blowing.
Yeah, and then Petrus also said it takes 3 to 12 months to heal a bone bruise. I would say 1 to 2 months for that.
I mean, we could diagnose it. I mean, we could look at it, search on it right now.
I looked at it right now. It says most bone bruises slowly heal for over 1 to 2 months. A larger bone bruise may take longer to heal, but I mean, if it's 1 to 2 months for other one, I would say maybe 3 max for a deep bone bruise.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe it was just a misdiagnosis. Even Dana Brown had even mentioned that too. I mean, the quote just says it right there. After several rounds of medical imaging, we suspect there was some type of small fracture.
Yeah.
Doctors misdiagnose stuff here and there.
Yeah.
You're not automatic and just get the number one result all the time.
What are your thoughts?
I mean, honestly, I think they were just protecting him as a player. And I think you got to do that. If you're the team, you're the GM or you're the owner, you got to stand behind your guys. And I think the Astros did a really good job doing that for Tucker. 3 months is pretty crazy to think about a deep bone bruise. But I mean, I'm pretty sure people did speculate like, yeah, there was no bone bruise. There had to be something more than that for him to miss 3 months. But like you said, the positive thing to see in this is that the Astros were able to win these games without a Kyle Tucker in their lineup.
Okay. Being in this position, like you said, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, I mean, they're still in contention for the postseason and winning the division as well.
Yeah, it'll be a different story if they were still 5 games back, 6 games back, and they're still batting it out. But the fact that the Astros are winning without him, take your time. Basically, like, take your time to heal. The guys out there have it. Your position's there when you come back.
Yeah, not like, I mean, we talked about it too. Like, you would rather have a healthy Kyle Tucker than a 75% to 80 to 50. I mean, all the percentages under 100, even under 90%, you would rather have 100% Kyle Tucker. Because why would you put out a non-fully guy out there to play his position if you would rather have him play fully healthy, especially the way that the Astros have been playing? Yeah. Maybe if they weren't playing like this and they were kind of on the verge of being at the same like record as Seattle and just maybe out of the wild card, then maybe Kyle Tucker will be playing these games as of right now. Yeah. But just for the fact how they've been playing, how starting pitching has been doing, how the offense has been producing as of late, there's no reason for him to be rushed.
Yeah, I mean, this is a win-win scenario for the Astros. They're in first place, and they're about to get a healthy Kyle Tucker back. So, couldn't have played it any better.
100% agree.
But it is time for our Carne Asada for the week. And speaking of Carne Asada, while we're recording, my family's doing a little Carne Asada right now, right here. So I didn't know about it till like literally 20 minutes before recording. They were like, "Hey, I need you to turn the grill." I was like, I'm about to record." But yeah, I got it. The food should be ready when I get back. Like when I'm done. So Speaking of that, there you go.
Look at you. You're gonna end this and then you're gonna go eat.
Well, no one told me anything, so literally, I'm eating a sandwich because I was already hungry.
You're sandwich worthy. Then you're not carne asada worthy.
I was on my second sandwich when they're like, "Oh yeah, we're grilling." I was like, "Bro, I mean, I should tell me before I made these two sandwiches, but probably sneaking a taco or two." But let's start off with Framber Valdez. Like Lorenzo said earlier, 7 innings pitched, 0 hits, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts, 98 pitches. Just to show how great he was, and the Astros pitching was too. This is per Major League Baseball Sarah Langs. The Astros have 17 no-hit bids of 7+ innings since the beginning of the 2019 season, excluding playoffs, which is 9 more than the next closest team, which is the Padres at 8. And just this season, the Astros have 5 no-hit bids in 2024. It started with Ronel Blanco, where he finished it. 9 innings pitched on April 1st. Ronel Blanco again on June 16th against Detroit. 7 innings of no-hit ball. Framber Valdez back in August 6th. 8.2 innings pitched. That was 1 out away against the Texas Rangers. Spencer Arrighetti, also on August 28th at Philadelphia, and then Framber Valdez at the end of August 30th versus Kansas City. This is just to prove Lorenzo's point of how elite this team has been in August. 3 of those no-hit bids coming in the month of August.
Mind blowing. I'm telling you.
That's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. Now, who's also invited to Garden Size be Jordan Alvarez. He was 6 for 15 this series with 2 home runs, 2 RBIs. This is like the third multi-game home run this season. He had 3 home runs August 28th, and it was the 21st of his career. His 21st career home run games are second most in MLB history through the player's first 610 games. He also reached 30 home run mark yesterday, which gives his 4th career 30 home run season, which all have come consecutively, and he's only the second Astro to do that, tying Jeff Bagwell as well.
Wow. He
also has an active 25 game on base streak. I don't know if you know that.
I think so. I saw something about that. I want to say.
Yeah. So 25 game. Impressive. Yeah, 25 game active on base streak. Did he get on base today?
I don't think so. Honestly, I'll double check for you real quick.
Yeah, it might be over. Well, while he's double checking, in that stretch of the 25 games, he's batting .387 with a 42 on base percentage and 1,000.235 OPS. His streak is second longest active on base streak in the majors and his 4th longest streak of his career.
So he does have a hit.
26 games.
26 games now.
26 games. There you go.
Very impressive.
There you go. And then another guy, Jose Altuve. He went 3 for 15. 3 for 15 in that KC series, but he did get a walk-off hit, which marked his 6th career regular season walk-off hit and the first since July 11th, 2021 versus the New York Yankees.
I think I remember that one. That was when Gary Sanchez was behind the dish. As soon as Altuve hit that ball, like literally at his ankles, going to the Crawford boxes, and Sanchez like put his head down like he already knew it was gone. That was against Chad Green too.
Yeah, I don't know what it is with Altuve and the Yankees, but he has some memorable moments against that team.
Is he considered the king of New York?
I guess you can say so. Just like how you can consider Jordan Alvarez the king of Toronto or Baltimore, because he likes sitting there.
Yeah.
And then who's also invited to the you say Kikuchi is 7 innings, 7 innings, 5 hits, 112 strikeouts. The Astros are now 6-0, like Lorenzo said, and each of Kikuchi starts. In that span, he is 3-0 with a 2.57 ERA, 47 strikeouts, and he is posting 1.78 opponent batting average. Pretty phenomenal stuff.
Yeah, this is just speechless, man. You can't really say what this rotation has done this month of August, especially what you say Kikuchi has done. When you get a guy that had like a 4+ ERA, close to near 5, I'm pretty sure, and what he's doing right now is pretty freaking. You just wonder how the Blue Jays couldn't get him going. You just wonder.
I don't know what the Astros saw, but like you said, something's clicked here in Houston, and it's working. Now, I know I said this after the first start, but now we're 6 starts in. After the first start, I said the Astros need to sign Yusei Kikuchi for at least 2 more years, just because they got him. They gave up 3 prospects for him for a few months, and you told me it's kind of early. Well, now 6 starts in. What's your thoughts?
If the Astros should sign him,
yes.
If he like I said, if he continues his trend, and like I'll even point out what you had mentioned earlier, if he shuts down the season today, and he does this in the postseason too, I think you got to sign him. And then because we talked about Justin Verlander is going to be a free agent after this year, and I honestly, I don't know if Astros fans are going to like this, but I honestly don't think the Astros are going to re-sign him. I do not. And if you're going to sign between him and Kikuchi, I think you got to sign Kikuchi just for the beneficial part of your future in this rotation. Because 2, you don't know if Framber Valdez, which he'll be a free agent coming next year, what his plans are going to be.
Yeah. Well, I think I did hear that the MLB qualifying offer will be $22.1 million. You think he rejects the qualifying offer, or?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so.
Okay.
I think the only one that gets a qualifying offer is going to be Bregman and Justin Verlander.
Justin Verlander doesn't get a qualifying offer this year.
It's just Alex Bregman, like you were mentioning, Kikuchi too.
You know what? Let me recant. I don't think Kikuchi gets a qualifying offer either. Might be just Bregman.
All right, double check that. Let me get this pitching preview out the way because there's really not a lot to talk about. As they're going against the Cincinnati Reds, like I already mentioned at the beginning of the show, that they lost the series opener against their former NL Central rival. They are 66-73, 4-6 in their last 10 games, 4th in the National League Central. I do not think they will make a postseason push because they are 9.5 games back of that last wild card spot. This was a team, honestly, I thought that they had a shot of being a postseason team, but they just didn't have it in them this season. But 2 starters for the Astros going. They have yet announced for the Cincinnati Reds who their starters will be. Spencer Arrighetti will be going for Wednesday, 5:40 start time, 7-11 record with a 4.63 ERA. And like Angel had mentioned earlier, Arrighetti, his last start against the Philadelphia Phillies, 7 2/3, 2 hits, no earned runs, 4 walks, 11 strikeouts. Coming a great month of August of a 1.89 ERA, 47 strikeouts, a 12.7 strikeouts per 9 innings. And he is second among rookies in strikeout per 9 innings with a 11.93. Angel, you want to give me a guess who's the number 1 rookie with strikeout per 9 innings?
Paul Skeens.
Paul Skeens. Yes, it is. 12.23. So what he's been doing is really, really impressive because the strikeout numbers have been really good for Spencer Arrighetti as of late. Just have to continue to see what he continues to do in this last month of September. But Thursday, that's going to be a travel day for the Astros, so they're going to play early with a 12:10 start time. Hunter Brown's on the mound for the Astros with 11-7 record, 3.55 ERA. We already talked about his pitching stat from his last start. That was against the Royals. I don't have to go there. If you want to listen to it, you go back and look at that recap when I was talking about the starting pitching. So I think the Astros do have a strong chance of at least getting a series to win if Spencer Arrighetti continues to pitch how he's doing, and Hunter Brown as well. Just offense got to get something going because that's what happened in that first game in this Red Series.
So going back to the qualifying offer talk, major league players are only allowed to receive 1 qualifying offer in their careers. Both Verlander and Kikuchi have been offered qualifying offers, so they can't get one anymore.
Which makes sense because Kikuchi has been with Seattle, Toronto.
Yeah.
So makes sense.
Okay. What's the next pitching preview?
That's it.
That's it? That was quick.
Well, that's why I told you it was going to be quick. Verlander already pitched for game 1. Game 2 and game 3 starters were for the Astros, Arrighetti and Hunter Brown. The Reds have yet to announce who's going to be their starters.
Yeah, I got you. My bad. While I was searching that up, my ADHD was focusing on that. I heard you talking, but I didn't see what you were on. So I guess it's time for the train station then.
It is very time for the train station.
So I wasn't cover count second, but Lorenzo did a great job doing that. So let's move on to Alex Bregman. Joe Espada got a text from him saying that he was a bit sore. That was on Friday. However, on Saturday, Alex Bregman was sore and still a day today. He's feeling better than he did yesterday. But on Sunday, Dana Brown said on pregame radio show Bregman has a chance to play tomorrow, Wednesday at the latest. And this is per Mike Harakawa today, which is Monday. This is what he had to say. That soreness is still lingering. The swelling has come down most of it. So I think today giving him an extra day just to get some treatment, do some work in the cage, just a day off tomorrow will be beneficial for him also. So he's still day today. What do you think? Do you think Bregman comes back on Wednesday, or do you think they hold him out a little bit more?
I think he comes back Wednesday. He hasn't played since Friday. So you go Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. That's a 5-day rest. It's so unfortunate for the Astros too that they're gonna have to deal with this for their whole rest of the regular season and maybe going into the postseason. That's the tough part for it.
So you're saying there's a chance you could see Kyle Tucker, Alex Bregman, Jose Altuve, Jordan Alvarez, Yandy Diaz, Jeremy Pena again in the same lineup for the Astros?
Yes. I'm very interested to see the placement of Yandy Diaz and Kyle Tucker in this lineup.
He's been pretty killing it from that top 4 spot, that fifth spot in the order.
If I'm the Astros, man.
Do it. Say it. Because I think we're thinking the same thing.
Altuve, Bregman, Alvarez, Yandy, Tucker.
That's exactly what I was thinking too.
You have to, even though it's a lefty. There's nothing wrong with that. But the way that Yander's been swinging the bat with runners in scoring position, best believe he's going to stay in that.
Man, even today, I knew he went in there with a plan, and Jeff Bagwell, if you hear the Bronx did a great job. The first pitch that he got when he had runners on, he fought it off the other way. Mm-hmm. Next pitch, hits it the other way because that was his plan. Just put the ball in play. I'm not trying to hit a home run here. Just do my job, get an RBI. That's what he did.
And the home run numbers haven't been up there. We talked about that. 24 home runs in last season, and that was being a backup catcher.
Yeah.
Just imagine if he did have the power numbers for this season, which it's being substituted with the RBI production that he's putting up. Like you're saying, like you're saying too, he's been hitting the ball the other way. He did that in the Royal Series too, hitting a line shot left and the right center gap.
That's how he makes some money.
Yeah, he's been doing I feel like he is such one of the unappreciated, just like Kyle Tucker. You got guys like Jose Altuve, Alex Bregman, Jordan Alvarez. Kyle Tucker doesn't really get the biggest recognition from all of them. That's going to go the same thing for Yandy Diaz. Not a lot of national media is talking about him, which it is what it is because the Astros are they're not on the East Coast or not on the West Coast. What he's been doing has been really phenomenal, honestly.
Yes, and this could be a topic off once the season's over, but maybe we can dive into, or maybe that year when Dusty Baker kind of made him the backup catcher, just trying, it kind of paid off again. Maybe, I don't know. That could be a off-season conversation, but something to think about there. But yeah, he's been great. But I do agree with you in that aspect. I think Yandy Diaz just deserves to be in that clean opponent. Kyle Tucker fit. It kind of benefits both. Just to kind of ease in Kyle Tucker a little bit. I know he hasn't played in a while. Put him in that fifth spot. Although your 3, 4, 5 guys are your big hitters there, it's they kind of gives him some protection there, and maybe he can just kind of take it easy a little bit.
I feel it's kind of like you got to pick your poison. Let's just say Altuve and Bregman gets on. Jordan Alvarez. Okay, you don't want Jordan? Look, Yandy Diaz. Okay, you don't want Yandy Diaz? Kyle Tucker.
Yeah.
I mean, if Jeremy Pena continues to hit like he's been hitting, like I said, if he could get to 300, that'd be my guess. I had it correctly. But, I mean, if he was hitting like how he was in the beginning of the season, this lineup's going to be really deadly if they make the postseason.
Yeah, I agree. And then a guy that will be missing in the lineup is going to be Jake Meyers. He was placed on on the paternity list. Chas McCormick has been caught up, and like we said, he had a hit in his first game back. It was, I think, Minute Maid Park. It would have been gone. It would have been a home run. Yeah, it would have been a home run. It was like one hop off that big wall in Great American Ballpark.
Shout out
Like,
to the Meyers family too.
yeah, congratulations,
Congrats.
congratulations. And I didn't want to bring this up when you mentioned it because I was gonna talk about it later. But like you said, Ronel Blanco pitched pretty great for the Kansas City Royals. Like you said, I actually I did agree with you there, saying that the best chance to Orioles to avoid the sweep was going to be Ronel Blanco, but he kind of finished on a good note. And I say finish on a good note because the Astros are going to return to a 5-man rotation soon, and Ronel Blanco's most likely going to be the odd man out. I know you kind of caught this too.
Mhm.
He's going to be the odd man out, and it makes sense for both parties. Uh, Ronel Blanco, as of late, hasn't been Ronel Blanco as he was early in the season. That just kind of goes just because innings, fatigueness. Again, this is a dog of a season. Like baseball season's one of the longest in sports, if not the longest.
Yeah.
But this is what Dana Brown had to say on the team's radio. He said that Ronel Blanco is the most likely candidate to go to the bullpen when the Houston goes back to a 5-man rotation. And I think that'd be beneficial to the Astros. It beefs up the rotation, but also give Ronel Blanco. I'm sorry, beefs up the bullpen and gives Ronel Blanco some much needed rest, if you can say. His velocity hasn't been as much as he has. His location kind of been spotty here and there, but if this was the last start of Ronel Blanco this season, my hat's off to him. No one
Oh, of course.
expected this. No one expected this. What Ronel Blanco exceeded expectations by a mile. His job was just to fill in for Luis Garcia, fill in for Justin Verlander when they come back, fill in for those injured guys, and then maybe still question marks on the rotation. But he surpassed that. And if he can continue the success next year, I think the Astros have a good one there.
I called in from spring training. This was the guy that I think that he's going to be the number 5 guy in this rotation.
Yeah.
First start, throws a freaking no hitter. That's how of a dog this guy has been throughout the whole season. Honestly, in my opinion, like I've said, I think he was an all-star snub when it was the all-star, trying to figure out who was going to be the reserves of the all-star game of this year. But like you said, I mean, what he's done with a lot of these players not playing this season or just missing a start or being on the IL, he's done a really good job. And I honestly think, I don't think this will be his last start of this season, just for the fact that the Astros are going to have another week span of nonstop baseball. I want to say it's the Padres, the Angels, and the Athletics, if I'm not mistaken.
I think,
But they're I won't be surprised if they do go to a 6-man rotation in that relief. But
so yeah, I got you.
But if, like you said, this was his last start, he really did a great job. I think if the Astros do make the postseason, this is a guy that you want your middle relief, long relief if something happens. He's going to play the Christian Javier role that he did in 2022. So I think this is a good guy to have in your bullpen just to give him rest, just to give him days off. He could give you an inning or two as well. So giving him, like I said, if the Astros, if for some reason they go all out, they get the bye, have that extra couple of days of rest, and then when the postseason comes, I think that guy's going to be an X factor still.
Yeah, and to go with Lorenzo's point, the Astros play 16 straight games, starting with Oakland on September 10th, and in they finish and start at home. The last game of that 16-game stretch will be Seattle on September 25th. And then, how we were saying earlier, the bye week for the Astros is still in play. Well, they'll finish with the Cleveland Guardians. So that'll
Be fun.
could be a potentially bye week. Like, win that series, you get the bye week, lose it, you have to play in a few days. So very, very, very meaningful matchups there. And then Seattle too. I mean, the way it could be is that come September 23rd, it might be a 3-2 game lead for the Astros. You never know, and then it'll be some tough matchups there.
Critical, but I think these are going to help the Astros too, just for the fact it's getting close to the postseason. These games are going to be postseason atmospheres, just like this Royal Series, I would say too, at Minute Maid. So these are going to be very important.
Yeah, I think September is playoff baseball September. So let's take a look at the standings. So right now, in the standings right now, we have the Astros with a 5.5 game lead. Yankees and Baltimore actually tied Yankees right now by percentage points up on that. Cleveland and Minnesota. So KC's third in that AL Central. Minnesota is 4 games back of Cleveland. However, KC's 4.5 games back. The sweep by the Astros kind of
they were just 1 game back before the series against the Astros. That's
so
crazy.
It kind of ruined that for them. In the National League, Philly leading that division. The Braves are 7.5 games back. Milwaukee looks like it's taking hold of that NL Central because Chicago was 9.5 games back. And then the Dodgers hold that NL West. San Diego is 5 games back. Arizona is 6 games back.
Which NL West is a stack, dude.
Yeah. And then in the wild card, if the season ended today, would be Baltimore, Minnesota, KC, and San Diego, Arizona, Atlanta. And that is like, which division do you think is gonna be like besides the AL West, which division do you think is a little bit more interesting, more playoff feel?
NL West. NL West. That is it right there. Dodgers and Diamondbacks. What I think they just recently finished their series off.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out who's going to be the number 1 seed. Same goes for San Diego. Now Tatis is coming back too from the injury list. That division right there is going to be very fun to watch.
I'm gonna take it to the AL Central. Minnesota, KC, 4 games back of Guardians. I think that's still anyone's division there. That'd be a pretty fun race. A tight race there.
Guardians are playing Kansas City too right now.
Are they? Let's see. Do we have a score on that? Let's see. 4-2 Guardians won.
4-2 Guardians won.
Yeah.
The Guardians had won the game.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
5-game losing streak for the Royals as of right now.
Yeah. I mean, it was late offense for the Guardians on that one. Yeah. But man, September baseball's here. Baseball's here. Some tight races, highly competitive matchups there. Like you said, Astros finishing it off on are gonna have to finish off on a strong note because they have some great matchups there.
Definitely.
And I don't know if and I know you saw because you were there and he posted a great video. But Yuli was back in Houston, and I think I don't know if you heard, but supposedly Jordan Alvarez dedicated those 2 home runs to Yuli Gurriel.
Cuban connection right there.
There you go. The old time Cuban connection. And then just shout out to Yuli. He's a grinder. He's been bouncing around teams and finding a place with KC. That could be a difference maker between playoffs and not for KC. Having a veteran in that clubhouse, along with Salvador Perez, and they both contribute. I mean, Yuli had 3 hits here in Houston, if I'm mistaken.
2 or 3, I want to say.
And he had an RBI?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's offense right there.
And sad thing is, though, I don't know if you saw, he did have left hamstring tightness.
Oh, I didn't see that.
So he did have to come out of the game.
I didn't really watch too much baseball this year. I'm not gonna lie, because I was too busy. Planning the party. But yeah. But thanks for that. Oh, did it happen in Houston or that was today?
That was today, actually.
Okay. Thanks. So. But still, shout out to Yuli making it back to the big leagues. And then I don't know if you've seen Tariq Schoolball's numbers, but they've been absolutely ridiculous. He leads the MLB in wins with 16, leads the ERA, leads Major League in ERA with 2.51, and the strikeouts with 201. Is that a triple crown there?
That's what I was going to ask you right now. I think that is a triple crown, isn't it? Isn't it wins, ERA, and strikeouts?
Yeah.
Impressive.
Who was the last pitcher winner?
Honestly, he should be on the MVP conversation too.
Yeah, absolutely. Because didn't Justin Verlander win MVP?
I think the last pitcher to do that was Clayton Kershaw.
When did he win the MVP?
Dude, you got to go back to his prime. Around 2013, 2014, 2015, maybe 2012. I don't know. Around somewhere in that damn time.
So actually, Justin Verlander and Clayton Kershaw were triple crown winners in the same year. Imagine that. 2011 American League and National 2011. League. In 2011, yeah.
Was that the year that he won the MVP then?
I think so. No, I actually think he won it in 2012. Let me see.
I'm not 100% sure.
I'm looking it up right now.
When you get that real quick, I'm gonna put up September call-ups as well as here.
Oh yeah. Did I skip that?
Yes, you did. 28
my
men
fault.
on the roster now for the Astros. Relief pitcher Forrest Whitley and catcher Cesar Salazar are the two Astros calls up. Rafael Montero didn't make it because Dana Brown had mentioned on the pregame show that they were concerned about velocity was a tick down.
Yeah.
Can't rule. I don't think you can rule Rafael Montero out. But like I told you in that last episode, the way Forrest Whitley has been pitching, I think you got to give him a shot. And I think he actually pitched in game 1 of this Red Series, going an inning, only giving up a hit, no earned runs, giving up a walk, and struck out 3 batters. So I think the first 2 batters he punched out.
Yeah, I mean, it's just to get right for Rafael Montero. That's another guy that just like outside, like you don't want to rush him back. Let him get his groove on it and stuff like that. But Justin Verlander did win the MVP in 2011 when he did win the Triple Crown. However, Clayton Kershaw won in 2014. So that was last.
Okay, that was around that time frame, 2013 to 2015.
Yeah. But there you go. There you have it. That's the show.
You have it. Like who says that's all, folks? Is it the Porky the Pig from the
Isn't it Bugs Bunny, dude?
Nah, I think it's Porky the Pig.
Oh, it could be. I don't know.
Could be Bugs too.
And if you have A&E, check out that Chicano squad. I wrote an article about it. Pretty phenomenal stuff. I was lucky enough to watch the preview. It's going to be on A&E. I think it's playing right now. Unless if you're in the West Coast, you got to wait till 9 o'clock. But check it out. Pretty phenomenal documentary, the Chicano squad on A&E.
That's 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock over here in Central?
8 o'clock.
So over there, it's 6 o'clock at West Coast.
Yeah. So it's 9
o'clock.
No, 9 o'clock Eastern. My bad. 9 o'clock Eastern. And then the thing with A&E is that they're not going to show it at 6 at 6 or 5 Western time, like Pacific time. They're going to show it at 9 Pacific time over there. So it's at 9 o'clock Eastern Pacific time.
Based on a Houston story, correct?
Houston, yes. So the Eastern areas, the Eastern area there.
Yeah. So if you're from Houston, like he said, that's a pretty damn cool documentary to look at. But what a turnout we had tonight. Shout out to all of y'all that stayed on and tuned in to this episode. If y'all missed it out, we'll put it out there to see which part you did miss. But episode 210 is in the book, like Angel had said in the beginning of the show. Look at that ticker below. Follow on our social platforms from Twitter, TikTok, Instagram's FSA Full Steam Ahead, YouTube. A lot of people are on Twitter right now from X. Make sure you go to YouTube, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button on this video. Of course, on our podcast platforms from Spotify to Apple. Make sure you go leave us a rate, leave us a review, give us some comments, share some feedback, tell your friends, family, all of that. Spread the word. Start spreading the news. Not like New York. Frank Sinatra's a damn good artist, so but not the Yankee song at the end of their games every time they play. But we will probably be putting out a giveaway. I know we haven't put out a giveaway in a while.
Ooh.
Just for the fact that Hispanic Heritage Month is here in the month of September. That is a hint for the next giveaway that we will be giving out. I don't know which day. Maybe Friday night will be a good one. Beers on ice. I think that'd be perfect.
Let's do it.
Be perfect. But, Andrew, you got anything else before we sign off on an hour and almost 10 minutes?
No, just thank you for listening. Have a great work week. I hope y'all enjoyed your Labor Day. I know I did. And yeah, see ya. Thursday? See ya Thursday.
Yep, Thursday. We'll give you that recap of that Red Series. We'll just have to tune in to see if the Astros did win that series or not, and then get you that preview going against the Arizona Diamondbacks, which that is the second best team that's been playing great baseball after the All-Star break. So that's going to be another
September's playoff day.
Postseason matchup right here, possibly a World Series matchup, which it could have been in 2023, but we are not going to go there.
Yeah, one game away. We're
not going to go there. Till then, like Angel said, have a great start to your work week as well as school, and we'll talk to y'all soon.
Peace.